Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we are live now.
Hey, everybody. Good evening for all of you who are watching this live and whoever is part of this Zoom call as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we're going to be touching up on a sport that is followed by virtually 1.3 billion Indians and also many others from across the globe. This discussion is actually around cricket and coronavirus and how coronavirus has affected our sport. So, with me today, I'm obviously incredibly honored to be in the presence of such gentlemen, very distinguished gentlemen who have contributed a lot to our sport. Um, First of all, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ganesh Chandrasekharan, who is the ex editor of Yahoo Cricket and has also worked with Cricket 4. Samir and I go a long way back in our days with Cricket Tracker, and obviously he's done very well with his podcasts and written for a whole bunch of blogs. Krishna and myself have gotten acquainted in recent times, where we collaborate, and his knowledge of the game is quite unparalleled. So yes, very excited to be around these fantastic gentlemen. If we could start with Ganesh, if you could introduce yourself, followed by Samir and Krishna.
Yeah, hi, this is Ganesh Chandrasekharan here. So I've been part of the digital journey for almost close to 25 years. So starting from 94, 95, 96, I was doing a little bit of research for India Today, especially on the World Cup. 99 to 2001, I was with Cricinfo, where it moved from .org to .com, and that was the time when India first won the Under 19 World Cup under Mohammad Kaif. And then from there, the journey started, and we came out with a lot of products and interesting stuff. Then with City Cricket, revived City Cricket from being Kale.com to say City Cricket, and then we launched the first ever video scorecard. So, and then from there, the journey moved to say Yahoo Sports and Yahoo Cricket in particular, where the product was launched, for the Indian audience. But we created a global product from the Yahoo stable, sitting here in Bangalore, right here in Bangalore. And during that process, I have actually covered close to about 7 or 8 ICC events, say about three T20s, two I think two champion trophy, and say about 2 World Cups. And after that, with the Hindu again, I was there part of the Hindu group, driving the digital product on cricket as well. Cricket was one of the things, major drivers for us in terms of growth and monetization. So this is briefly about me.
Right, fantastic. Samir?
Okay. Hi, this is Samir Alana, and me and Abhijit, as he told, we go a long way back for Crick Tracker. Crick Tracker was my first place where I started actually writing. So I started back in 2015, and from there, I have been freelancing. That's where I developed my interest for journalism, and now I am a student of journalism as well. Last year, I was working for Cricket Next, right under Gaurav Kalra, and now I am actually working for a sports agency which goes by the name Sports Interactive.
Hi, this is Krishna here.
Nice, amazing, amazing.
Yeah. So I'm a cricket follower. I've been following the game since almost a couple of decades. As a profession, I'm a business consultant. I work in the business consulting field, and since the last couple of decades, as I told you, been following the game. And recently, around a year back, a couple of years back, I started writing for Sportskeeda, and then slowly started. Building my own platform called Wrong One. Since a year, I've been working in Wrong One, along with some collaboration and inputs from Abhijit. So that's how the movement from not only being a professional into a professional journey, along with the professional journey, I bring content on cricket through Wrong One, which is basically trying to bring insightful, different content, newsy but illustrative. So that's what I've been doing since a year, along with my profession as a business consultant.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Krishna. So for all our viewers, as you can see, today we are in such an esteemed panel, and people with tremendous knowledge of the sport. So obviously, right now, the situation that we find ourselves today is that sport in its entirety has been locked down due to a virus, COVID, right? So and also today we're seeing that a lot of series have been called off or cancelled due to this, and there is talk of the IPL being moved. So very quickly, all of your thoughts on this before we move to a much more deeper discussion. Yeah, Ganesh, if you could start.
Yeah, I think, it's been I feel that it's going to be a washout year for sports and for sports lovers. At least the first half of the season is gone. We are missing the football. We are probably going to miss tennis as well. And there are reports that Wimbledon is already announced that it's cancelling the event for this year. And plus IPL, I'm still optimistic if the lockdown is lifted on 14th. I'm sure BCCI can, and Saurav Ganguly, of course, who's driving this entire thing, can actually, what he can do is, BCCI, I feel, can pull off this event where there'll be about 22 or 25 players sitting inside, say, playing in the ground, and we can still keep watching virtually like what we are doing currently now. And the other important thing is, the question on everybody's mind is what will happen to Dhoni, because it was supposed to be a comeback event for him, much touted event for him, and what will happen to him and his future if it's a complete washout. And that is on the Indian front, but on the global front, there are other series which are getting affected as a run up to the pre-qualifiers to the World Cup. So that is also going to have a lot of impact on, say, on the game actually.
Right. So very interesting that you brought up MS Dhoni. So now MS Dhoni, I believe Ravi Shastri had said that this would be Dhoni's chance to prove himself in the IPL. Now that there is no IPL, what do you? So Samir, I'd like to ask you, what do you think is going to happen to Dhoni now?
Uh, Starting with Dhoni, I guess I was never expecting him to be part of the T20 World Cup. Especially, as soon as India tried KL Rahul in that wicket-keeping position, I felt, that that's where, it all ended for Dhoni as well. And for Pant, I felt, like the way Indian cricket is going around right now, it seems like, Pant will be going as a reserve wicket-keeper and they will be going in with KL Rahul as a first wicket-keeping choice. So I don't think Dhoni was even going to be a part of all this. Talking about his career, I think it's sad to say this, but his international career is well but over. Maybe in the IPL we may see him next year again, but I don't think that we may get to see him again playing international cricket. That's a huge statement, but that's what seems as of now.
Very interesting from you, Samir. Krishna, do you have anything to add to this or to any of the series which have been cancelled apart from the IPL?
With regard to Dhoni, I mean, it was his call to take a break. I mean, in fact, of course, no one would have expected this would happen. I mean, the IPL may, considering the fact that when he took a break, even no one would have thought that this would happen and eventually would not get a chance to play in the IPL. So, I mean, even in fact, you remember Sunil Joshi, when he was selected as the chairman, he made a statement that based on his performance, there would be a possibility of considering him. So they did not rule him out directly. This is a bad luck for him. I didn't get a chance. So I can't see him making a comeback in international cricket. It's a difficult path for him, but they cannot rule Dhoni out. Even he's a comeback. I mean, you can see a comeback. You not rule him out. So yeah, that's
right. Right. Okay, very, very interesting. But before we get into the IPL, I have a list here with me of all the series that have been cancelled. We started off with the ODI series against South Africa, the ODI series of India South Africa, the ODI series between between Australia and New Zealand. One of the games I believe, in the Sydney cricket ground was actually played behind closed doors.
Yes.
And we actually saw players jumping over the fence to go get the ball back, right? And obviously, the England's tour for Sri Lanka also has been quite affected by this, right? So, quickly, thoughts from each of you with respect to these series which have been cancelled. And do we and obviously, like Ganesh said, this might be a washout here. Do we see these series being rescheduled at some point? Yeah, anyone can go.
I'll begin with. So,
Right.
I think the pandemic has affected cricket largely as of now.
Mhm.
If you see, we were 3 weeks back, everyone's getting geared up for the IPL. Uh, talking about the digital perspective, since I'm working for the digital agency, we were all getting, like making teams for the IPL, what to do, what work needs to be done, or what was the agenda set behind for this. And all of a sudden, it has come to a standstill. And, now rather than watching them on television playing the IPL, we are watching them go live on Instagram, or having ask sessions on Twitter. So the whole dynamic has actually changed, and it's just turned. It's unbelievable at this point, but that's how we have to go now.
So just to add to say what Samir said is, there are a couple of things. Like he said, one is uh, the papers don't have anything to fill as of today. So that is one part. The second part is there's a lot of things that is going to affect the economy because people have saved to market during IPL. Your products, product launches, movie launches, and all these things are kind of getting affected. And the entire ecosystem, if you look at IPL, starting from the 200 players, going down to the junior players, to the district level people, and then the economy around that, like the clothing economy, and all these other digital events that people were planning. And in fact, there were, I know for sure that there were a couple of other companies which were looking to use augmented reality and virtual reality to be part of this. And also, people were thinking of coming on with some innovative ways in the digital marketing stream. So it has kind of affected a huge economy, and it's going to have a lot of repercussion and impact because now that if you don't have an IPL, the next India series is going to be after 3 or 4 months. So people don't know what to do with and where to invest money or to market in sports because sports is a big trigger for India and Indian market. If you look at it, any big brand when they want to make noise or they want to create some buzz around it, they are part of cricket.
Right. So, Krishna, just adding to what Ganesh had said, how bad or how much of a loss would this actually not having the IPL be for the BCCI? And I don't think it affects only the BCCI. I think it affects a lot of other cricket boards as well, because I think you have about you can have about eight foreign players in a team, and there are 8 teams. There are 64 foreign players who play every year in the IPL, right? So how much of a loss would this be for the franchisee, for the BCCI, for each of these cricket boards as well?
I was going through an article which a business consulting firm had put it across. It said that around in 2015, the whole value addition to the GDP which IPL created was around 1,200 crores. I mean, roughly around 150 or 1,200 crores is what. I then cross-checked it, and it was adding a value of almost 0.4 to 0.5% of our total GDP. So, in fact, I was going through the Olympics also, which is being cancelled, which has been cancelled. There was a saying that almost 1.5% of the total GDP value was contributing to Olympics, to the Japanese GDP. I mean, you cannot compare Japanese GDP. There's a huge impact. Moreover, this is regard to revenue. What I'm talking, the revenue which is being generated because of the IPL. And with regard to the brand, which is going to be got hit because of this, there was a number which was being shown in one of the articles, which said almost close to 600 to 700 million devaluation of the brand of IPL would what is expected. So apart from this, I mean, if you look at, I mean, this might come as a cliche. If you even the kids watching the game, yeah, I mean, in the summer, one of my, I mean, I say with my niece and nephew. So he calls me, come mama, let's play cricket. I want to bat like Virat. I mean, so that is also missing. I mean, you don't have anything to watch beyond this. I mean, so the kids, the entertainment element and the other elements get added to this, not only commercial or economic aspect of the game. So yeah, that's what's leading up.
And just to add to what Krishna said, see, I was actually hoping that since IPL is close to about 6 billion in terms of valuation, and it's second only to Formula One, which is about close to about $8 billion, is what is the valuation. I thought this year we might actually either touch or go past, say, F1 in terms of brand valuation, and that would have been a proud moment for any Indians out here, because a brand built in India and it's going all over the world. So that is a kind of impact that might have. I think it might take at least a couple of years for us to again catch up with F1.
Right. So we actually have a crowd question here, which says, let me just open it up. How will club cricket be affected by coronavirus? So I'm guessing club cricket would be is what we refer to as is what we refer to as you know, stuff like IPL, stuff like the IPL, or maybe even the county cricket. Yeah. So anyone can respond to this.
I think it has already been affected. If you see, I think county cricket, all county cricket till May 30, it's not going to happen. And
Right.
this has been the suit. This has been the suit in Australia and England, and now IPL is, there's a big question mark over the IPL, and it seems like it might not happen this year. So I think club cricket has already been affected by it, and the Caribbean Premier League, which happens during July, August, that is also on hold, and the decision is going to be taken once they take stock of the situation in June. So it's already affected right now, and
I think even the Bangladesh Premier League might have some impact on this.
Absolutely. So now, yes, Krishna, yeah, you have a point to say.
We look at the if you say to connect the dots, like if you see the Sheikh Mustaq Ali Trophy happened in India, so the players who got recognition, who started getting recognition, let's take for example Shreyas Gopal or even the Krishnappa Gautam from the Karnataka team. So these guys would be looking forward to IPL. I mean, like let us say that would be let us say a stepping stone for them to showcase their talent. Of course, all the other youngsters also would be looking for IPL. The guys who would be like at their peak, who doing well, who want to go ahead. So for them, this is actually a break. I mean, that's what I want to add. People like those who are at the touching peak, maybe.
Right. So very interesting that you bring that up, where players, certain players would be affected by this kind of a corona pandemic. Today we also, I think we read a very interesting article about Pat Cummins. It says you make about 3.2 Australian million dollars, million Australian dollars, right? To somebody who would be playing franchise cricket. If there was, let's just assume that there's no franchise cricket that happens in 2020. We have the Bangladesh League, PSL. PSL, I think, already happened.
The playoff stage didn't happen. The league stage happened, and the league got called off because of the corona.
Right. And Alex Hales at some point also had I think was tested positive at some point, right?
No, it wasn't. I don't think he tested positive. Like there were rumors about it, but then it was cleared he was all
cleared. Right. Okay. Thank you, Sameer, for clearing that up for us. But let's just say hypothetically that this year, the year 2020, we don't have any franchise cricket, and players like Shreyas Gopal, Krishnappa Gautam, or people who exclusively play for franchise crickets, and who don't really play for their countries. I believe RCB bought Josh Philippe, Josh Felipe
Yes.
is an uncapped player, and this how will this affect uncapped players, so to speak? Yeah.
So I think if you see, other than Josh Philippe and the others you have just mentioned me, Sarfraz Khan is a prospect. He was looking at his good playing for Kings in Punjab. So this year for in the Ranji Trophy ended up scoring one triple century, then a double century. So he was actually excited. I read an interview about him where he was excited about playing the IPL. Or we can say someone like Surya Kumar Yadav, who has again done immensely well in the domestic season. So I think there, and also if you talk about the under 19 cricketers, this year they had just come into the recognition right now because of the World Cup. So and Yashasvi Jaiswal as well. So I think it's going to be an overall loss for all of them.
Sure. Yeah. Anybody want to add
And
to
in
what?
fact, just to add to Samir's Hardeep, in fact, some of the guys like Hardik Pandya and others, because they thought that with IPL and all the other games are there, they can they can recoup themselves from the injury. So this would have been a great opportunity for people like them also to come out and showcase their talent again.
Right. Yes. Yeah, very interesting that you bring what impact actually club cricket can really have on certain players. But let's take a look at some of the other stuff as well. Which is actually had to be cancelled. South Africa came to India without on the back of actually really good series against Australia. They did well in the T20s, they did well in the ODIs as well, and they came and then the first ODI was out, rest of it was cancelled. Right? England actually, I feel they were doing pretty well. In Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka was also on in good form after their series against the West Indies at home, right?
Yeah.
So would you respond to certain international events and such ICC calendars? And is there room for it to be rescheduled? Or maybe for certain players who have actually got that chance at the international level.
See, for South Africa, it has more to do with rebuilding of the side because there were a lot of youngsters that they started trying during the Australia series out there. So, and plus a guy like Duplessis, because he was also in a kind of a situation where the South Africans didn't know whether to pursue with him or what to do with him. So, IPL would have given him again a platform where he could have recouped himself with his performance, given that the Chennai Super Kings always bangs on him. So it would have been a great opportunity for him to find his form and also get a lot of inputs in terms of captaincy from, say, a guy like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and he would have carried that experience back to South Africa. And then the other thing is which would have helped South Africa as part of their World Cup build-up. And it would have also given a lot of opportunity to guys like Rabada and others who missed certain series. So many of the South Africans were also backing on IPL and also the India series before that.
Right. So now that the South Africa series, obviously we've seen that, but Samir, very quickly, playing New Zealand versus Australia behind closed doors, is that something you would like to see, or would you like it is cricket obviously is not for television, but without the crowd element. Is it something that would sustain the sport in the long term?
Uh, as Ganesh suggested that we may have IPL behind closed doors. I remember like when the Australia New Zealand match was going on, it was feeling a little bit defining, the kind of atmosphere there was, and watching the match, then the ball, as you mentioned, like the ball going into the stands, and the players actually having to go there and take out. So of course it was a little bit weird for me. But if there is no other possibility, then I think will have to settle for that only, because as far as IPL is considered, as Ganesh was suggesting that there would be like just 22 people and the officials. I don't think that would be possible, because we will need to have organizers and security officials as well. And considering their health, and if they are able to provide security, considering the lockdown going on right now, I don't feel that the idea to have IPL behind closed doors is going to work at this point of time. Maybe in the future, I don't know about what happens ahead, but
Right.
right now it feels very difficult.
Right. Right. So Samir actually vetoes watching cricket behind closed doors. Krishna, very quickly, what do you think about watching IPL or any international match for that matter behind closed doors?
I come to this point. The one which you were referring to, the previous one, the international matches being cancelled. See, the challenge now would be with ICC. I mean, teams like visiting teams. The schedule was such that for the World Test Championship, that there were home matches, there were away matches. So with this, pandemic, now the challenge would be some countries might have felt the touring games were easy and the points they could have cashed in easier. So the whole thing comes into equation now. In fact, MISPA was also made a quote a few days back that has to be reconsidered. So that's one challenge with regard to each. And coming back to cruise doors, I mean, the end of the day, if the commercial aspect is considered, that's a way forward. You can't think of any other option, because you're looking at some broadcasting rights of $1 million. That's maybe 4 games team, if not, I mean 8 games, 7 games. I mean each team playing between against each other only once, or maybe a 12 overs game, or maybe 15 overs game. Something can be worked out. So that's still a possibility. If we, I have to add to Ganesh, if this happens before, after May 15th, it's a possibility. I mean beyond May 15th, I find it challenging.
Right. Okay. Very interesting.
See,
We actually got
And
few
one
audience-
more, just to add to what Krishna said is, and why
Sure.
I try to differ with Sameer there is, the point is now that we know for sure that New Zealand is not going to travel to, say, the other parts of the country like Ireland and other places, Scotland, Ireland, and others. So many of the guys are not going to travel. So if they come to IPL, so IPL season can be extended from, say, April, May to maybe say May to June, July kind of a window, because other games and other tournament, other bilateral series are getting cancelled. So if that opens up, then we can still have at least a full season of IPL, because even that, the way we have organized before, because we have seen this kind of a crisis, say about 3 or 4 years back, when IPL was shifted from, say, India to South Africa, and still the only thing is that we will not see crowd entering the stadium. Instead, it will be like more of a game which will be for the televisions.
Right. So I think two people in this panel feel that we should have crowds, and maybe one feel that we can it would be.
See, the other reason why I'm saying why they will not bring in crowd into the stadium is mainly because we did see that a couple of people got affected in Australia during the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be one of the reasons why ICC might want the crowds to stay away from the grounds.
Right.
Just to add to that,
So-
Vijay, sorry, Ganesh,
Yes,
I interrupted you.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No worries.
I
Continue,
just
Krishna.
read somewhere close to 500 million viewers watched the IPL last year. I mean, considering all the matches. So you're talking about, that is through the television I'm talking about, through maybe on the other digital rights also. So
Right.
I'm not sure about it. Maybe including digital rights as well as television stuff. So this is huge demand. I mean, market you're looking at. So that element cannot. That is bigger. I mean, compared to the people, the ticket sales are comparatively small with the margin or the revenue, considering the TV rights or digital rights.
Right, right. Okay, very,
Because
very.
if you look at the other thing, yeah, the other thing that is also happening is many of the companies like I read yesterday, there was some of these people who have taken the digital rights like DA is it in Dazen and others. They are saying that they will not pay for the rights. So assume that you have the broadcasters out here and also the digital right people going back to BCCI and saying that we will not pay. It is going to have a huge impact on the players also. Starting from the
Oh,
test team, like you have the contract guys of A, B, and C, and then the money is being used to fund the say the domestic cricket as well. It's going to trickle down. And similarly, if you look at England has clearly said that they are considering pay cut options for all the players. So this is going to have an impact, and that is where if IPL happens, at least some money will go back to the respective boards, and it can kind of subsidize that.
right, right. Okay, so now moving on, we actually have a few audience questions over here. Very interesting, but very quickly, Krishna, how do you, since you played cricket as well, how do cricketers stay fit during the lockdown?
I mean, this is a challenging question, yeah. I mean, I didn't play that professional cricket. I mean, more on moved to real life. That was back to schooling and the curriculum stuff. So I don't know. I mean, routine stuff is quite challenging actually. I mean, no domestic cricket happening. I was going through a video where Mohammad Shami was running around the park nearby his house. I don't know, it was near his house, I believe. So these are the only options. I mean, some workout in the home or else nearby weekend area to do some workouts running around.
Right, right. So it's because it will be a big challenge, fitness of the players once the lockdown is over, because most of them, if not all of them, I mean, few of them have a gym at home, but most of them really don't. Right? All they can do is maybe just do like what we are doing, which is just like walking around, push-ups, and that kind of stuff. Another very interesting audience
Abhijit,
question.
Abhijit,
Yeah,
so
Samir, yeah.
yeah, I'd like to add up on this. So yesterday I was watching the live Instagram video between Bumrah and Rohit Sharma. So
Okay.
there this
Yeah.
question did actually come up: ki how are the players maintaining their fitness? So
Hmm.
for someone like Bumrah, who's a pacer and for whom fitness is necessary, especially after coming back from an injury. So he was actually going around doing mostly, exercises like the TheraBand thing or home exercises, body weight exercises like push-ups, lunges. So this is what they are trying to keep it up with, and that's how their fitness routine is carrying on right now for the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, great, great. Yeah. So we have another question. Now that we're still on the limited overs, will we see a more reduced format of the game, like the T10 becoming, 10 overs aside? T10 is something that's already prevalent. Do we see the T10 becoming an international sport? Right now, it's only played in Dubai, right? But do we see this becoming an international sport, or do we see it as a new format to the game?
The 10 over side.
Yes, yes, yeah. Wherein
No,
the 20
I
over.
don't think it'll get into the mainstream.
Okay, and the reason for that, if you could just shed some light, why do you think it won't become a
See,
mainstream?
the reason is cricket. If you look at it, is more of a community kind of a game where people want to say come together and they want to enjoy. It's not like say a 10 over side is about 20 hours for 1 hour. People will not travel all the way to watch. So that is one, and also the looking at looking at the game evolve over the years, and also the interest in advertisers. The advertisers will also not come in and pay huge money for just 20 overs. One, it is a logistically not possible. The other one is also in terms of if you take monetary wise and economically, it is not possible.
Right. So actually, very interesting. Where for the I think Harsha Bogle recently spoke. One of these corporate events in Hyderabad, where he actually was saying that if the 10 overs comes in, the T20 becomes the sandwich format, Right now we have the 50 overs cricket, which is a sandwich format, right? Now, slowly, let's move the discussion into the T20 World Cup. Much anticipated T20 World Cup, which has been actually sort of put on hold due to the virus. But very quickly, I think Krishna, if we could just have a look at who the favorites are. Who are the top picks and who can actually make an impact in this T20 World Cup this year.
That is happening. I mean, I'm suspecting that also actually, to be very honest. I mean, with countries coming up with the scenario of not giving visa for 6 months, or I mean, not allowing foreign visitors to come to the country for 6 months. So that's a challenging scenario which we are looking at. And I read somewhere someone from BCCI or someone, I don't know, was stating that there will be a possibility of pulling that window for IPL. So coming to the favorites, right now. Uh, Australia or India, to an extent, England can pull it off. These three look good right now, and I mean you cannot ignore the West Indies and Pakistan. They're a dark horse in any tournament. So these three are the one who look good right now.
Right. Ganesh, who do you think the favorites are? Assuming that we do have a T20 World Cup at some point this year. Ganesh, are you with us? Actually, okay. While Ganesh figures out, Samir, who do you think? Who do you think would are the favorites for the T20 World Cup this year? Assuming we do have a T20 World Cup.
I think Pakistan looks good right now. They have someone like a Babar Azam who's been performing really nicely in the T20 cricket. And again, as Krishna told, T20 cricket, it's difficult to predict, and mostly, it's a dark horses. You don't know when they rise up. So of course, Pakistan is one dark horse. And other than that, I feel Australia is looking good. England is looking good. And I wouldn't say a lot about India because, right now they haven't shown much promising signs as of now. The New Zealand series was, of course, one big positive sign. But again, there are some, like, Bumrah needs to figure out his form after injury, and India needs to find a better partner for him. So a little bit, just trying to be a little bit not being optimistic for India. And other than that, I feel West Indies always, when it comes to T20, West Indies are always, reserved favorites. So that is my.
Right. So Ganesh, very quickly, who do you think are the favorites? Assuming we do have a T20 World Cup this year.
Yeah, for me, three teams. One, I would probably go with New Zealand as a dark horse because of the way because of the way they field and all the more than the batting and bowling, it's a fielding that matters to me. So that is one. I will go with India as number two because you do have some really good T20 players, and in Australia, people like Rohit Sharma and all others have performed really well. Like you go by the past records. And the third team, like Sami said, I would go with either West Indies or Australia.
Okay, so there is a general consensus with the West Indies. I think everyone has chosen the West Indies. Very interesting, Ganesh, that you think that New Zealand has a good chance, given the fact that they're not playing very far away from home. Given
because
certain
there are
conditions
two reasons.
and
The reason is basically their fitness level, if you look at it, is pretty good compared to any other team, like a Pakistan or maybe even Australia and also England. If it's going to be a prolonged, virus thing that is going to stay off for about 3 to 4 months, you'll find fitness to be a major issue for teams like Pakistan, South Africa, and England. Whereas for Australia, anyway, it's off season because it's a winter for them right now, and it's not going to affect them big time because they'll keep themselves conditioned by the time they come back in December. So for Indians, as of today, if you look at it, they are still fit, and still I feel that if one or two games were, if a Ranji Trophy starts from say June, July types, if we have a trophy just to keep unlike other countries like, say, the South Africans and the Englishmen. And West Indies, by nature, they are natural. So for them, fitness doesn't matter at all.
Right, right. Very interesting. So we have another question about India's current dominance in world cricket. I'd like to throw the spotlight on Krishna right now. Once the COVID outbreak is over and once people start playing cricket once again, do you think India will be, rather the Indian cricket team will be in a position where they are able to regain their dominance over world cricket?
Yeah, I am a avid Test cricket fan. I believe the domination is where you when the major domination and the recognition comes in Test cricket. I believe so. So with regard to ODI and T20 cricket is you can never predict. Hardly you pick 3-4 guys or 5 guys, but you cannot pick 2 guys in the top like, who will dominate for a period of 2 to 3 years. So with regard to Test cricket, there are a couple of challenges. One, I believe they are touring. India is touring Australia this year, right? And again they're touring England, I believe, next year in the middle. I mean the English summer, that's June, July, August, around that time. So these two would be testing. If they do win both of them, so that will stamp the authority that they are going to dominate for another 1.5 2 years at least for sure. If again they with a few good players who were not available in the last series of Australia, the coming up Steve Smith or David Warner, these guys. I mean, that would be challenging. I'm not outrightly saying this should be a easy task for India, but Australia series first they have to win that, then going ahead in England. So those two series will determine how they will go forward and take the championship ahead. And in fact, I was doing a quick research for one of my posts. In the last 5 years under Kohli's leadership, the only tour we have won outside the subcontinent are West Indies and Australia. So the domination, we have to look at overall aspect. I mean, in the Sena nations, how we win them. Yeah, Australia and England would be the one which will test them.
Right, right. Very interesting. Samir, what do you think about India's dominance post coronavirus?
I think in the ODI scheme of things, I think we're still dominating world cricket. There have been, like, for example, if you just take out the World Cup, even in World Cup, we were leading the points table in the group stages. It's just that, we often tend to lose in the knockouts. So when it comes to ODIs, we did get whitewashed by New Zealand right now. But if you see, we didn't have many of our prominent players taking part in the ODI series. So I feel, it wouldn't affect us in ODIs. Again, T20s, as Krishna told, it's a game of, who performs on that particular day. And I think we have a decent T20 side. I won't say great. We'll have to wait and see for that. As of Test, I think what happened in New Zealand has actually raised questions because, the last time we went overseas, that was in Australia. We ended up winning that series. Then we followed it up with three continuous consecutive series wins in the World Test Championship. So now that we have lost two consecutive tests, that too in New Zealand, that wasn't something which was expected. So the Australian tour suddenly, it becomes a very serious tour. And considering that last time we didn't have individuals like Steve Smith, David Warner, Marnus Labuschagne, who is in some spectacular form right now, I think the series is not going to be easy at all. And if India can actually, turn up for the series and do well. I won't say win because it seems difficult as of now. I would just say, if they can do well, then probably we will continue the test domination for sure.
Right. Ganesh, your thoughts on India's dominance following coronavirus?
See, because we don't have any major games between now and the Australia series, I think it'd be good if BCCI insists all the players to go back to the drawing board, which is force players to play in the Ranji Trophy games, both in terms of fitness and also in terms of regrouping themselves and finding some form. If we do that, and if the players start scoring some runs out there, if not heavily, at least if they middle the ball pretty well, I think we might find a winning base pretty soon, and it can be the start can be in Australia.
Right. So quickly, since we all brought up, I think we all brought up the Australian tour now. There's a very interesting documentary on Amazon Prime for those who have watched it, about the Australian cricket team. And I think the way Justin Langer is coaching the team, it's actually a very interesting way of coaching, I feel. But again, everybody, I'd like to go around here. What are your thoughts on Justin Langer and his coaching? Anybody can start. Yeah, Krishna, if you could, Justin Langer's coaching techniques and the way he's started.
I have not seen the documentary in Amazon. I've seen a single episode I've seen. I've not seen the entire episodes. As far as I can recollect him
Okay.
saying that one of his major achievement would be winning against India in India. So that's why I remember that. I mean, I don't remember whether it said it in the documentary, but he has said it precisely that winning against India in India would be one of the. I mean, that Test series would be his. The tipping point of his coaching career so far with regard to Australia is concerned. See,
Right.
eventually, you could recollect the Ashes which happened recently. So that was also not a series win. I mean, it was it was a draw series, but again, playing in England and ensuring a draw itself was achievement sort of thing for them. Now, with regard to the tour of, the India touring Australia, that would probably give him a chance because he's not done so significantly well, to be honest. So this series of India would be something when Tim Payne is looking forward to, and let us see how things happen. That's what the show will give an evidence on Justin Langer's success.
Right. So Samir, yeah, you have something to add?
Yeah, so I actually saw the series, the whole series. So one
Yeah.
thing that I really liked about thing is like Justin Langer is a player who was actually the part of that legendary 11 side of Australia. And when he came into the team, he introduced characters like Shane Warne, Ricky Ponting, Steve Waugh. He was continuously bringing in big players, to give the others in the team advice and all the guidance they need. So I think that is one point I really liked about Justin Langer in the series.
See, one
Um,
more thing is Langer is just following the footsteps of, say, someone like a Steve Waugh, who took the team, I think, if I remember, to some kind of a nationalistic thing, to Gallipoli or somewhere. And similarly, I think Langer took the team to some Western war front in
Right.
England. So it's like you just have to. All he says that you have to have that the fighting spirit always, and bring in the ruthlessness that we have seen Australia over the last decade or two. So that is what he's trying to imbibe them into the Australian culture again. This set of Australian team. So, but looking at the way what Indians did in 2011 and what they did in 2011, so I think it's 2020, 21. It's going to be the same thing. We can overcome them. Being an eternal optimist of Indian team.
Right. Very. Yeah. That's. I guess we all are optimists, eternal optimists of the Indian cricket team. At least, I think the generation of myself and Samir, at least, who started watching cricket from the 2002, 2003, when India went down under
2004.
four. Yeah. I'm very bad with dates. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up it's not controversial. It's not a problem unless you want it to be a problem. But the recently again, I think it came when West Indies toured India. There was this auto no ball that came in. Where we've been earlier. There was a lot of controversy. We've seen Virat Kohli screaming at umpires. A lot of ad companies use Jasprit Bumrah's no ball in the Champions Trophy and all of that. So now there's something called the auto no ball, right? So thoughts on the auto no ball and also whether it's good for the game, because we've always been saying that the line belongs to the on-field umpire, right? So it's within his discretion to call a no ball. But now with the auto no ball, yeah. So Krishna, if you could start off.
I have a big plus for that. I believe that that should come. I mean, that would give an entire different dynamics to the way umpires look into. See, you are the guy who's standing there is doing a couple of jobs. One is look at the line below his eyesight, and then again look into the raise his forehead and look into the stumps over there, see the batsman. So that would give him a straightforward chance to directly look into the batsman. He did not look into the line below. I mean, so that's a good thing, and I believe that should be subscribed there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Samir.
Yes, I am also totally in for this thing because I remember very nicely last time when Mumbai Indians and RCB played a game. Uh, RCB required 4 of 1, and Malinga actually bowled a no ball which wasn't
No
spotted,
ball.
and Virat Kohli actually spotted it when he was walking in for the presentation ceremony. So I think if not for the marginal calls, at least for the howlers, it can help us, get through the howlers. So I'm totally in for this position.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. So I believe we have about 7 minutes to go. So starting from Ganesh once again, if we could just have a few closing statements on Corona and cricket and Corona.
See, I personally feel that Corona is anti-sport on a lighter note because
Absolutely.
it's virtually and it's pro women because they get to see their serials and we are completely deprived of all the games and that too at a very interesting point of the season, starting from maybe a football because we are just waiting whether Liverpool will win or maybe Manchester United, Manchester City will take the trophy, and then in European league, and maybe we were thinking that okay, it'll give an opportunity for us to see maybe Nadal before Wimbledon. So that is one part. The second part is it was also a series which the South African series which I was looking forward to see some really new faces, the South African faces out there, and also what India can do after the disaster that they had in New Zealand, whether it would be a kind of a regrouping and recouping themselves. The third part is IPL. I was looking forward for IPL mainly because of two reasons. One is I'm a hardcore Chennai fan, so I wanted everybody. I wanted the team to prove that guys above 35 can do far better than guys who are in the 20s. And the second thing that I was looking forward for, mainly for MS Dhoni, and I still feel that like how Dinesh Karthik made a comeback during the Champions Trophy, Dhoni might be a surprise inclusion in the say for the World T20 if it happens. So this is one, and on say on personally on the work front and other things because I do a lot of these research works and a lot of stuff on digital marketing and stuff like that. I was planning to come out with a lot of new tech related stuff which I wanted to test it during IPL in terms of user growth and all these things. That is something which I might miss. But what I might be doing currently between now and if at all the IPL happens is maybe do a little bit of business analytics or data analytics to see next year which team can win and maybe come out with something to keep myself occupied with the sport that I love.
Right. Fantastic. Fantastic. And yeah, Samir, your turn. Corona and cricket and Corona. Closing arguments from you.
I think it's kind of disappointing because we were all looking forward to the IPL, and to have that, be cancelled, not even postponed, is something which is difficult to take in. And more importantly, there's no cricket happening. You just have to open Star Sports and watch old games and all that. So kind of it's disappointing, but then again, it's been done for the safety of people. So okay. The only good thing is that since all big tournaments, like other than cricket, you have Olympics being cancelled, being postponed, or the Champions League being postponed. So one good thing about T20 World Cup is that it's being held in the later part of the year. So there is still time to think, and if the situation improves by May or June, probably we might still have it. So fingers crossed. Again, the international borders getting crossed for Australia is a concern, but then if we can have that sorted out by June, I think I'm really looking forward to it.
Right, fantastic. So, Krishna, final thoughts: cricket and Corona and cricket.
Yeah, in fact, if you see quite a few players who, I mean, this is not a right way for them to have a break. I mean, this happened, it's unfortunate. But the guys, the cricketers, actually, in fact, this is an uncalled way of having a good break for them, actually. So, from a player's point of view, this is something which I guess they are really, I mean, being home is a good thing they're enjoying, I believe. And secondly, I remember you asked the question on how they stay fit. I mean, so to add that, the challenge would be to these guys come back and suddenly play international cricket. So that is one challenge. I mean, in fact, with regard to agility is considered or being healthy. I mean, fit. That is not a big challenge. The hand-eye coordination, the foot movement. I mean, the accuracy when bowling. So these would be the challenge when they come back. I mean, if they don't get to play some sort of domestic setup of cricket. So that would be second challenge. And third would be how would the ICC would look into it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, how the ICC would react to it with regard to how things are scheduled going forward. So these are the challenges. And is there a possibility going forward? I mean, this will not. I mean, it shouldn't happen again. I mean, but is there a possibility where a 15-20 days window is left in the peak of peak of any season, where all the teams can come and play some matches, something like that. Some sort of window can be left going forward in future. That's also a challenge for ICC. So these are the things I'm looking for.
Amazing. So there you have it. For all those people who are watching, I hope we've answered your questions to the best of the ability that we can. Thank you to all our panelists. This is very clearly the dream team of panelists they're the best that I could have asked for. Was really nice. Thank you guys so much. We definitely hope to have cricket back in our houses and also on the field. Irrespective of what Cricinfo is doing with Retro Live, where we are looking at commentary of old matches. That is very cool, by the way. But yes, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being a part of this. We will be sharing the insights with everybody shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.